Modi visits the United Kingdom, it's not just the landmark free trade deal that will be in focus, but what this deal signifies. A message to Trump about how deals are actually struck, a moment of worry for Khalistani terrorists, and a new dawn in India-UK ties. So what's this visit all about? What does India gain from the deal? And why should it matter to the world? This is Shubhangi Sharma and you're watching Fine Point. Let's dive in. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is all set to be in London, where he will be signing one of the most ambitious trade deals in India's modern diplomatic history, the India-UK Free Trade Deal. This pact, finalized after 3 years of tough negotiations, unlocks a higher realm in India-UK relations.
This is the biggest deal the UK has done since we left the EU, and I think I'm right in saying it's the most ambitious that India has ever done.
In a world reshaped by Brexit and more recently by US President Donald Trump's global tariff war, this deal is a potent message from India and the UK to the world. It is a blueprint especially for future agreements showcasing India's ability to leverage its demographic and industrial strengths. Now, alongside the signing of the India-UK FTA, PM Modi will also raise Pakistan-sponsored terrorism, the long-standing concerns about Khalistani extremism, and the return of fugitive economic offenders during this visit. These issues, including Khalistani attacks on Indian diplomatic missions and the glorification of terrorism, are irritants that have caused significant friction and must be weeded out. Prime Minister Modi has flagged the Khalistan issue in the past as well, directly with PM Keir Starmer on the sidelines of the G7 summit as well. Ultimately, the success of this new FTA-led era in India-UK ties will be hinged upon how the UK deals with the Khalistan threat. After all, it's a matter of security for both nations, not just India.
The presence of Khalistani extremists and bodies close to these people is again something that we have brought to the attention of our partners in the UK. We will continue to do so.
Now coming to this landmark trade deal. Now Brexit left the UK searching for new economic partners, and India, the world's 5th largest economy at the time, was quick to seize the opportunity. For New Delhi, this FTA is a declaration of India's intent to be a decisive player in shaping the economic future of the Indo-Pacific and beyond. With PM Keir Starmer at the helm in the UK, this visit marks the first high-level engagement since Labour's landslide victory ended 14 years of Conservative rule, setting the stage for a refreshed bilateral agenda. Speaking of the trade deal, you may ask, what's in it for India? Well, this mutually beneficial agreement has a lot in store. Firstly, there's sweeping tariff elimination on both sides. The FTA eliminates tariffs on 99% of Indian goods entering the UK, covering almost the entire spectrum of exports: textiles, leather, footwear, gems and jewellery, chemicals, plastics, machinery and more. This move is expected to turbocharge sectors where India is already globally competitive, while offering British consumers access to high-quality, competitively priced Indian goods. Surat's diamonds, Kanpur's leather, Ludhiana and Tirupur's textiles, and Kerala's seafood all gain deeper access now. India's engineering and auto parts exporters gain zero-duty access as well into the UK, helping firms in Pune, Chennai and Coimbatore, for example, to expand globally. There's another major win for India in the aspect of services and mobility. Indian professionals in IT, finance, engineering and education gain eased visa norms, while the Double Contribution Convention, which is basically a social security pact, prevents double taxation for Indians working temporarily in the UK. The Social Security Pact was a long-standing demand of Indian businesses operating in Britain to cut down on the additional costs associated with bringing in skilled Indian professionals on temporary visas. This benefits Indian IT firms like TCS, Infosys, Wipro, and thousands of MSMEs, with over 60,000 IT professionals expected to gain annually. Now, independent professionals from yoga instructors to chefs and musicians are also going to gain from this greater mobility. And the gains are reciprocal. Through this deal, the UK secures reduced tariffs on its exports to India, especially in areas like whiskey, gin and cars. For instance, Indian tariffs on British whiskey and gin will be halved initially to 75% and further reduced to 40% over a decade. Automotive tariffs, historically over 100%, will drop to 10% under quota systems, benefiting companies like Tata's Jaguar Land Rover. This agreement encourages collaboration in tech, innovation, and green transition, aligning with India's Net Zero 2070 vision. Now let's let the numbers speak. As per the UK High Commission, the India-UK FTA is projected to boost bilateral trade by £25.5 billion or $34.4 billion annually. Bilateral trade between the two countries reached $55 billion already in 2023, and the two sides now aim to boost this to $120 billion by 2030. And this is not just about the goods. Remember, the services sector, which is India's strongest suit, especially in IT, finance, and education, is set for a major fillip, with stronger copyright protections for creative industries and greater market access for digitally delivered services. This makes the India-UK FTA a balanced and promising deal worth celebrating. In fact, it lays the foundation for a new era in India-UK relations. The FTA is a part of a broader comprehensive strategic partnership that spans defense, security, climate, health, education, and people-to-people ties. This agreement is expected to catalyze investment flows as well. However, one piece remains unresolved: the bilateral investment treaty, negotiations for which are still ongoing. Once concluded, it would provide further stability and confidence for cross-border investments, of which there is great potential. The UK has already become India's sixth largest investor, with total investments of nearly $36 billion. Meanwhile, with around 1,000 Indian companies operating in the UK and employing 100,000 people, India has invested about $20 billion in the UK. Now back to why this matters to the world. While maintaining strong relations with the US, India is actively building a Western portfolio of FTAs with the UK, EU, and Australia, aiming to bolster economic ties and positioning itself as a reliable alternative to China. Secondly, in an era of rising protectionism, exemplified by USA's tariff hikes and China's weaponization of rare earths, for example, India is signaling its sincerity in accepting balanced, win-win trade deals. Ultimately, the India-UK FTA stands out as a bold counter-narrative to Trump's trade war. It signals that major economies can still craft win-win partnerships without threats or coercion, and with respect for each other's economies. So at a time when trade negotiations with the Trump administration have again hit a roadblock with no deal in sight in the coming weeks, and with India rejecting one-sided deals offered to Vietnam or Indonesia, Prime Minister Modi will be signaling from the UK how a deal is really struck.